At number 10, we have the Sony X90L, a TV known for being one of the most reliable and consistent 2025 models. Sony's processing makes the picture look natural. Motion stays smooth and the colors feel clean without looking overdone. It's not trying to be overly bright or flashy. It just delivers a balanced image that works for almost anything you watch. Where the X90L becomes especially interesting is during Christmas week. For most of the year, the price barely moves, but when stores begin clearing space for the 2026 stock, this model usually gets one of the better discounts in Sony's lineup. It's common to see $200 to $300 off and sometimes more, depending on store inventory. For a brand that normally holds its price, that's a good deal. The X90L isn't the brightest TV, and it isn't meant to compete with top-tier OLEDs, but the value changes completely once the Christmas discount hits. If you want something stable, smooth, and reliable for movies, sports, or everyday watching, this is one of the smarter TVs to keep an eye on. Waiting a few extra days can turn it from a solid choice into a great buy. At number 9, we have the TCL QM7K, one of the stronger mid-range mini LED TVs released for 2025. It's bright, colorful, and noticeably sharper than many TVs in this price range. TCL tuned this model to look good right away. The colors pop without feeling overdone. The contrast is solid, and the mini LED backlight gives movies and sports a clear boost over typical mid-range LEDs. The QM7K handles fast scenes well, keeps motion smooth, and offers better shadow detail than last year's version. It's not meant to compete with TCL's high-end QM8, but it sits comfortably above basic mid-range models. Even gaming feels responsive thanks to low input lag and the updated processing. Where it really becomes appealing is the holiday discount trend. TCL mid-range TVs usually drop by around $150 to $350 during the week before Christmas, and the QM7K is expected to follow that same pattern. Since it's a fresh 2025 release, stores often push early discounts to move units before the next lineup arrives. Overall, the TCL QM7K brings brightness, color, and mini LED performance at a price that already feels fair. And with a Christmas discount, it becomes one of the most attractive mid-range picks of the season. At number 8, we have the Hisense U7K, a TV that has become one of the strongest mid-range performers of 2025. It's the kind of model people look at and think this might be too good for the price. And honestly, that's pretty accurate. The U7K brings mini LED brightness, solid HDR, and surprisingly strong gaming support without crossing into premium pricing. For everyday use, movies, sports, and streaming, it gives you more than what most people expect from a TV in this tier. Hisense tuned this model to feel bold and punchy right out of the box. Colors look vibrant, shadows have depth, and bright scenes stand out clearly even during daytime viewing. It's not at the same level as flagship TVs, but the gap is a lot smaller than the price difference suggests. The motion is smooth, the contrast is strong, and the overall picture comes across as much richer than a typical mid-range set. That's why so many people consider this the sweet spot TV. Good enough for almost everything without paying premium prices. Now, what makes the U7K really interesting is the Christmas discount pattern. This is one of the models that often gets a $200 to $300 drop during Christmas week, sometimes even more if retailers have excess stock. Because it's a mid-range TV, stores tend to push it aggressively during holiday sales to compete with other brands and clear space for new 2026 units. So, if you're shopping for a strong all-around TV without spending too much, waiting for the Christmas dip is the smartest move you can make. Overall, the Hisense U7K offers a balance of brightness, features, and value that's hard to beat at this price. It's perfect for people who want great performance without getting overwhelmed by premium price tags. With the right Christmas deal, it becomes one of the best value TVs of the year. At number 7, we have the TCL QM8. One of the most talked about TVs of 2025 because of how much performance it packs into a price that still sits below most premium brands. The QM8 is known for its extreme brightness, dense mini LED backlight, and contrast that feels closer to a flagship model. If you watch movies at night, bright sports during the day, or just love a picture that pops right off the screen, this is one of the TVs that immediately grabs your attention. TCL tuned the QM8 to look bold, colorful, and sharp without needing a lot of adjustments. HDR movies look dramatic. Highlights shine with real intensity, and dark scenes hold surprising detail for a TV in this range. Motion also stays smooth during fast action, which makes it a very easy choice for people who watch sports or action-heavy content. It's not perfect. The viewing angles narrow a bit since it uses a VA panel, but for most living rooms, that's rarely a problem. Now, when it comes to Christmas week, the QM8 becomes one of the most attractive deals on the list. TCL is a brand that pushes aggressive holiday discounts, especially when they're clearing shelves for their new 2026 lineup. That's why the QM8 often drops by $300 to $500 during Christmas week, making it one of the biggest value jumps you can get. A TV that already feels like a great deal becomes an even better one when the holiday price cuts hit. The best part is that the QM8 is versatile. You can use it for movies, gaming, sports, or even bright daytime viewing, and it holds up in every category. It feels premium without carrying a premium price tag, and when the Christmas discounts arrive, becomes one of the strongest all-around options you can buy. If you want maximum performance without overspending, this is one of the TVs worth watching closely during holiday week. At number 6, we have the LG B3, a TV that brings premium OLED quality to a price that feels much easier to reach during the right sale. The B3 is known for its deep blacks, rich contrast, and smooth motion that instantly makes movies and shows feel more cinematic. Even though it sits below LG's higher-end OLED models, the picture still looks far better than most LED TVs in the same range. It has that clean, polished look that OLED is famous for, something you can't fake with brightness alone. The B3 is also a favorite for gamers. It comes with HDMI 2.1, low input lag, and fast response, which makes it a comfortable choice for anyone who owns a PlayStation 5 or Xbox. The picture stays sharp during fast movement, and the colors don't feel oversaturated or harsh. It's one of those TVs that works well no matter what you watch, whether it's late-night movies, sports, or everyday streaming. Now, the interesting part for Christmas shoppers, the LG B3 is one of the models that almost always gets a $300 to $400 price drop during Christmas week. Sometimes the discount is even higher depending on how much stock stores want to move before the 2026 units arrive. OLED TVs don't always drop aggressively, but the B3 does, and that's what makes it a great value if you time it right. Waiting just a few extra days can turn a mid-range price into something that feels much closer to premium. The B3 isn't the brightest TV on this list, and it won't fight heavy sunlight as well as some mini LED models, but for picture quality in a normal room or evening setting, it delivers more than enough. It's a TV that looks expensive without costing premium money, especially during holiday week. If you want OLED quality without feeling like you overspent, the LG B3 is one of the smartest buys to track during Christmas sales. At number 5, we have the Samsung Q80C, a TV that lands perfectly between mid-range and premium, making it one of the most balanced choices for 2025. The Q80C is famous for its bright picture, solid contrast, and bold Samsung color tuning that makes everything look crisp and lively. It's brighter than most mid-range TVs, which helps a lot in rooms with daylight, and the screen handles reflections better than you would expect in this price category. This is the kind of TV that feels instantly comfortable for almost any type of viewer. Sports stay smooth, movies look sharp, and the picture doesn't wash out easily, even if your room has windows or open light. It also has strong gaming support with low lag and Samsung's reliable game mode that keeps things responsive without messing up the picture. It doesn't reach flagship-level brightness, but for most people, it checks all the boxes without pushing the price too high. What makes the Q80C especially interesting is how it behaves during Christmas week. Samsung tends to drop prices aggressively when clearing shelf space for the next year's lineup, and the Q80C is one of the models that gets hit with the best deals. It's common to see $200 to $400 off, depending on size and store stock. Since this model sits in the sweet spot, it gets pushed heavily during holiday sales because it appeals to the widest crowd. That's exactly why waiting until the week before Christmas can make a huge difference in what you pay. The QADC isn't meant to compete with high-end OLEDs or Samsung's top mini LED sets, but it doesn't need to. Its strength lies in being reliable, bright, and versatile. The kind of TV that fits any living room without overcomplicating the buying process. During Christmas week, it becomes one of the best value TVs you can grab, especially if you want something that performs well without jumping into premium pricing. At number 4, we have the Sony A80L, a TV that's built for people who care about picture accuracy and that natural cinematic look. Sony's OLED models are well known for delivering a clean film-like image, and the A80L continues that reputation. The colors feel realistic, the contrast is deep, and motion stays smooth even during fast scenes. This is the TV you pick when you want movies to feel like movies, not overprocessed or overly bright. What really sets the A80L apart is Sony's processing. Their XR processor does a better job than most brands at upscaling older content, sharpening details, and keeping motion stable without adding any weird soap opera effect. Whether you're watching sports, films, or general YouTube content, the picture just looks polished. It feels premium without having to manually adjust a 100 settings. Now, let's talk about the part that makes it especially appealing during Christmas, the discount. Sony rarely cuts their prices aggressively during the year, but the A80L is one of the models that drops once holiday clearance starts. Right before Christmas, it's common to see $300 to $500 off, and sometimes even more if a store wants to move remaining stock before 2026 shipments arrive. So, because this TV normally stays on the pricier side, that discount matters a lot. It brings real premium quality into a much friendlier price range. The A80L isn't the brightest OLED on the market, so it's not designed for very bright rooms or heavy daylight, but in a normal living room or a nighttime setup, the picture quality is excellent. It has that smooth, rich look that makes everything feel a bit more cinematic. For buyers who want high-end performance without stepping into ultra-premium pricing, this model becomes extremely attractive once the Christmas discount hits. If you're someone who values natural colors, great motion, and a picture that doesn't feel artificial, the Sony A80L is a TV you should absolutely watch during Christmas week. A good discount pushes it into one of the best deals of the season. At number 3, we have the Samsung S90C, often called the sweet spot OLED because it delivers premium picture quality without pushing into extreme pricing. Its QD-OLED panel gives richer colors, stronger brightness, and cleaner highlights than older OLED tech. So everything from movies to sports looks sharper and more vibrant. It handles motion well, has excellent contrast, and offers a lively but balanced picture right out of the box. Gamers also get great value here thanks to low input lag, smooth response, and HDMI 2.1 support. The S90C feels fast and responsive, and it works well for anyone who switches between movies, gaming, and everyday streaming. The Christmas discount is what makes this model really stand out. The S90C often drops by $400 to $600 during Christmas week because Samsung pushes newer units early and clears out remaining stock. Buying too early usually means paying more than you need to. So this is one of the TVs where waiting genuinely pays off. Overall, the S90C gives you near flagship OLED performance at a price that becomes much more reachable during the holiday week. If you want premium picture quality without jumping into the ultra premium tier, this is one of the smartest models to track. At number 2, we have the LG G3. One of the brightest and most premium OLED TVs of 2025. The G3 uses LG's newer AMOLED technology, which boosts brightness and keeps the picture sharp even in bright rooms. Colors look clean, contrast is deep, and the overall image has that high-end finish you expect from a flagship OLED. It's a great TV for movies, sports, and everyday watching without needing many adjustment. The G3 also handles motion well and supports all major formats, including Dolby Vision. It's slim, modern, and designed to sit almost flush against the wall, which gives it a cleaner look than most TVs in its class. Where it really becomes interesting is during Christmas week. The G3 usually gets one of its biggest price cuts of the year around this time. You can often save $500 to $700 depending on size and stock. Since this model stays expensive during most of the year, that discount makes a huge difference and turns it into one of the best deals in the premium category. If you want top-tier OLED performance without paying full flagship prices, the LG 3 is absolutely worth watching during Christmas sales. The LG C3 takes the #1 spot because it's the TV that consistently feels more expensive than it actually is. LG refined the C-Series for years, and the 2025 C3 is the version where everything finally lands exactly where it should. The picture is sharp, the colors look natural instead of oversaturated, and the OLED contrast gives every scene a depth that most mid-range LEDs just can't touch. Movies look cleaner, gaming feels smoother, and even regular TV channels look more polished thanks to the updated processing. What makes the C3 especially worth waiting for is how often it drops in price during Christmas week. It doesn't fall as aggressively as cheaper TVs, but the discount still makes a noticeable difference. Last year, buyers saved around $200 to $300 depending on the size, and the 77-inch versions saw even bigger cuts as stores tried to clear space for the next lineup. For a TV that already performs like a premium model, that kind of holiday price drop makes it one of the smartest purchases you can time. The C3 shines the most for people who want reliable picture quality without needing to tweak a bunch of settings. You turn it on and it just looks good. The motion is smooth for sports, the shadows stay clean in dark scenes, and the HDR highlights look controlled instead of blown out. That's why the C-Series has been one of the most trusted all-around picks for years. When a Christmas discount hits this model, it becomes a deal that's hard to beat and easily the safest #1 choice on this. Thanks for tuning in to NextGen Picks, where picks meets clarity. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay ahead with the best in picks.